So I wanted it to talk about 7 myths in job search in Denmark today. So we have this really weird job market in Denmark, and there are some things that are a lot different than other places, and that's why I thought let's talk about some things that keeps being said or things that kind of people keep believing in that is actually not true. The first thing is that if you're in the Danish system, like if you're connected to the job centers in Denmark, people keep saying search broadly, apply for a lot of different jobs in a lot of different sectors. That way you'll get a job faster. I do not agree with this. You need to narrow down your job search. And the reason you want to do that is that the more narrow you are in your job search, the more you get to know about specific things and like important things in that industry, in that type of job, meaning that you become so much better at applying for the jobs in this industry and in this area of expertise. So the more you research about the industry or the kind of job, the better applications you can write. So at least for 2-3 months at a time, choose one way or one kind of job to apply for if possible. I know that there are some jobs that are so narrow that that's not necessarily an opportunity, but really think about how can you apply in a way that helps you. So where even though it's another company that you're applying for, what you learned in the previous company will help you apply for the next job. So don't search broadly, narrow down your search instead. Number two is the myth is that the best candidate always gets the job. No, not necessarily. And there's a huge difference between the best candidate on paper and the best candidate in reality. So basically, one thing is that it's a lot about how good are you at presenting yourself in your job search material. So you can be really good at what you do, but really bad at showing people in your job search material that you would be a really good candidate. That's one thing. But the other thing is that in Denmark, a lot of what you bring to the table is also your personality. It's super important in Denmark to be part of a team, and there's a team dynamic. And when you're at an interview, so first step of course is to kind of write material that's good enough that you get the interview. But then when you get to the interview, it's also about how do you fit into the team? How good do you match into this team in a way that will get you the job? So not always the best candidate that actually gets the job. Sometimes it is the person who, or most of the time, it's a mix between your competences, but also what you actually um, do in terms of, or how you fit into the company or into the team that you'll be working in. And like I said before, when we're thinking about how you present yourself in your material to get to that interview, um, then it's also about bridging the gap between what are your skills and what the company looking for. So it's not just about showing, hey, these are my skills. It's about relating them to the company as well. So that was number two. And this actually also goes into myth number three, that you need to be able to do everything they say in an interview or in the job ad. So basically, when you read the job ad, they have these requirements. Maybe they have like 7 or 10 requirements that they're looking for. They need you to know stuff about this, this, and this, so on and so forth. You do not need to match everything. I would even encourage you to not necessarily apply if you know everything, because you might actually get a bit bored in a job really fast, and you might be considered overqualified if you know everything. So yes, one, it's their dream candidate, but also they don't want someone who will be bored really quickly and leave. So a good idea is to apply when you can do maybe 60% of the things that they are asking for. I see a hi in the comments. Hi, if you have questions, feel free to ask. I'm this whole like I'm not quite sure where I see the comments here because I'm on my phone. So hopefully they'll pop up. I just had like someone said hi, it says. So let's see if otherwise I'll try and hello. So amazing. Thank you guys. So that was number 3. So the first myth was search broadly. Don't do that. The second one was the best candidate always gets the job. Not right. And the third myth is that you need to match all the requirements. You don't. But around 60%, that's where I would still apply for a job. The fourth myth in job search in Denmark is that it's desperate to follow up on an application. That is also not true. When you follow up on an application, depending on how you do it, right? Like everything when you're communicating with other people, it depends on how you do it. So when you follow up on an application, it's not like, hey, you need to give me feedback because the deadline has passed. I want to know where I am in this position. That's not it. What you need to do is you need to write them or call them if that's an opportunity and say, hey, I applied for this job. I'm super, super excited about it. Would you mind, like, where are you in the process? I would love to hear where you're in the process because I'm just, super excited. And they might let you know that, hey, so sorry, you weren't the right candidate. And that's fine because then you can move on. Or they might say, well, we're still processing, so you'll hear back from us. Or they'll be like, hey, we're just about to call you for an interview. So either way, it's great because it gives you something more and it shows them that you're eager, that you're really interested in this job. And SAP fans, asks if I'm in Denmark. Yes, I am based in Denmark, in the capital region. Thank you for asking. Okay, so number 5 out of the 7 myths about job search in Denmark is going to be that the hashtag open for work or open to work that you can use on LinkedIn, that looks bad for your job search, that gives you a bad rep when you're job searching. That is not true. From the people I know working in recruitment and have the recruiter part of LinkedIn, this is a good thing because it shows that you're more open, more approachable in terms of job search, but also you show up higher in search results on LinkedIn. So having that hashtag open to work active can be a good thing. So there are 2 different ways of having this active. You can have it active in where it's only visible to recruiters, but this is recruiters who have the license as a recruiter on LinkedIn, meaning that hiring managers who do not have that do not see it. So pros and cons on that. Then you can have one where it's open for everyone to see. If you have the one where it says open to work for recruiters only, then recruiters in your current company will not be able to see it. So that's kind of a middle way for you to show some recruiters that you are open to work without being like flaunting it out. However, I would very much encourage you to have the hashtag open to work available on your profile. If it won't like screw up anything in your current position, of course. But the point here being is that when people can see that you're open to work, it's much more likely that they'll reach out to you because you're easier to get into an interview. It's not as hard for the recruiters to actually get in a conversation with you when you have that open to work. I've had previously an open to business, but it's something that I did like because I'm self-employed, right? So to kind of show people that I'm open to business, but that's not a specific thing. That was something I did myself, and then I changed my profile picture. But it's just it's a signal that you're sending, right? That you're like, hey, let's go, let's see. And in the algorithm, it's a good thing. And by the way, if you get value from my content, I would very much appreciate if you like the video and subscribe to the channel if you're not already. I'm going to be going live on the channel the next 30 days. So every day I'm gonna do a live. This is a challenge I've set myself. I've done once before, and I'm doing this to create a lot of amazing value and content for you guys. So I hope you appreciate that. Okay, so that was number 5. Number 6, and this is kind of like a bit late in the sense that we just entered September, but now then you'll know for later. So basically, the myth is that it's harder to get a job in the summertime. And yes, of course, there's often fewer new job postings in the summertime, but there's still a lot of position that gets posted just before vacation time. This goes both for when we're entering summer and when we're entering the Christmas holidays. Those are kind of the two major holidays here, right? Where it's like, yes, it dies down for a month or so in the summer and maybe 2-3 weeks during winter or Christmas time, meaning that there's, yes, less new positions, but there is going to be a lot of positions to apply for. And the good thing, especially during summer, is that not a lot of people are off all summer anyways. That means that networking can be done much more easily, because also a lot of the time, in some industries, of course, everything dies down a little bit during the summer. So that means that people have a bit more free time to do coffee meetings and chat and answer questions and stuff like that. So actually, it's not worse to apply for jobs in the summer. It's just often a matter of strategy, how to do it. And then really like think about, you also have an edge on the people who are not applying during the holidays, because they're like, nah, I'm not going to apply during holidays because I'm on holiday or whatever it is, meaning that you actually have less competition when you're applying throughout the holidays as well. So that was number 6 out of 7. The last myth here about job search in Denmark, and again, there's a lot of things that are different in Denmark. So the last myth is that you should apply just before deadline. You give yourself the best options of having your material read if you apply just before the deadline. Not true. So multiple things here. I'm not saying you can't apply just before the deadline. You can, because sometimes you don't see the positions until the deadline. But the thing is that sometimes or a lot of the times, they'll read the applications as they come in. I encourage my candidates, the people I work with, to apply preferably within 5 days of the job being posted. Because again, a lot of the times they read the applications as they come in, and they even start interviewing before before the deadline has actually passed. So the earlier you apply, the better, the more chances, because also sometimes they will actually remove the position before the deadline because they've gotten so many good candidates that they don't need any more applications. So hi Gun Gaming and hi Florian, I think. Amazing. Thank you for saying hi in the comments. I appreciate it. So basically, it's important in terms of when you apply, the deadline is more for their sake. It is not for it's, of course, it's also for your sake, but set your own deadlines. Another thing with deadlines is that I remember from, especially when I was newly graduate, and I had this idea. I was working on their deadlines instead of working on my own timeline, and it's super, super stressful. So I really want to encourage you to set your own deadlines, whereas, hey, again, 5 days from when the job was posted, for example, set that as your deadline so that you control your time. Because otherwise it can also be that, oh, now this interesting position has a deadline in 10 days, but then another one comes up and it's in 9 days. So should you stop writing the one you were already writing to kind of go in and write the other one? Don't do it. Focus on the things you're working on right now, and then set your own deadlines. Apply as fast as possible. You don't want to be not get the chance to apply because you waited until the deadline, because you might actually have the post taken down. So those were the 7 myths in Danish job search. Hi Artem. Artem, I hope that's correct? Yes, I am from Denmark and I am based in Denmark. If you guys have any questions other than if I'm from Denmark or if I'm in Denmark, please feel free to ask them in the chat. I would be happy to try and answer and help you guys while I'm here live. As I said just before, I'll be going live for the next 30 days, including today, and I will try to do it around this time. It doesn't always fit with my schedule, but it will be around here or something like that. Amazing, thank you. You live in Denmark, cool. Okay, so a mix between Danish and English in the comments. That's great. Yeah, I am Danish. One of the reasons I am good at what I do is that I know the Danish job market from being a Dane. I grew up here, and compared to being an internationalist, there are some things with culture and all of these things that can be difficult, right? So that is why my main focus group for when I help people in my company and with what I do, I help internationals understand the Danish job market. Not to say that I can't help Danes, because I have been working in the industry for, I guess, 9 years now, and I have helped both Danes and internationals. I work mainly with people at an academic level. But yeah, I am very open to all these questions. So, but for now, let's just a quick recap. Wow, and the English sometimes doesn't work for me apparently. But a quick recap would be that the 7 myths is that you should search broadly. No, don't do that. Narrow down your search. The best candidate always gets the job. No, the best person to show what they can do and to communicate how they can do what they do are the ones who are going to get the interviews and then also get the job. Number 3 is that you should match all the requirements. Nope, not necessarily. Perfectly okay that you don't, and maybe even recommend not to not get bored. 4th, it's desperate to follow up on an application. No, in my book, that is very much showing interest and that you're enthusiastic about the job. Number 5 is that it's desperate to have open to work on your LinkedIn profile. Again, no, it is not, and it even helps you in the job search, in the algorithm of LinkedIn. Hi, Tamboli. Number 6 is that holiday periods are not for job search. Of course they are, and it might even give you a better opportunity to apply between less applicants or be between less applicants, and definitely give you a better opportunity for networking. And number 7, that you shouldn't apply you should only apply just before the deadline, and definitely no, you should apply as soon as possible, set your own schedule, and have the best opportunities to actually get that job interview. So thank you guys for watching today. That is all for now. I hope to see you back here tomorrow, and we're going to be talking about, as far as I remember, how to prep before an event when you're networking. I think that's the theme. I will let you know. Thank you for watching. Take care.